Hello everyone, as we launch into day 2 of the 2013 Rugby League World Cup. We come to you to start off from Halliwell Jones Stadium here in Warrington, where in just over 2 hours time we're going to see the defending champions New Zealand take on fierce rival Samoa. That will be a very, very willing contest. All the focus is on the Group B teams today, because the first match we're going to see in just over 10 minutes time, it is Papua New Guinea versus France from Craven Park in Hull. Now, for those of you who don't know about the workings of the draw, out of Group A and Group B, the top 3 teams will advance to the
gather in the tunnel ahead of coming out here at New Craven Park. Papua New Guinea's the only nation that can call rugby league their national sport, and they all want to send that message out today as the 2 teams enter the field here at Craven Park. Papua New Guinea against France, game 3 of the Rugby League World Cup for 2013. And these guys will just be itching to get going. The talking needs to finish, the action out on the field.
There's no more exciting time as a player than this. This is the most exciting time. Lining up, listening to your national anthem, getting ready to play in a World Cup. You know, it doesn't get any better than this, especially for the Papua New Guinea guys who, like you said, rightly so, this is their national sport and they take real pride in that shirt, what they're wearing.
And we await the national anthems of both sides. This is the moment they've all been waiting for. And here are the anthems of the 2 nations. I should expect the national anthem of France, and now Papua New Guinea. Most capped player for France. Welcome to New Craven Park then for game 3 of this Rugby League World Cup 2013. Papua New Guineans just having their final team talk, remembering that game from last week, potentially the win over Scotland, all the experience, everything they've learnt from this year, all comes down to now.
It does, and I think one of the big challenges for Papua New Guinea today will be controlling that emotion. They're obviously very fired up for this first encounter. Controlling that emotion is vital for the performance today. The French guys are very familiar with each other. As you said, the Catalan Dragons feature very prominently in their team, and that familiarity enables them to perform very well and very comfortably in each other's company. But it's a really tightly poised game. As I mentioned previously, a lot of experience in both sides. We've got Chan and Costigan, two really top quality world standard back rowers in the PNG side that will really be looking to drag the standards of the rest of that pack up. With the French side, we spoke about their forward pack, essentially the Catalan Dragons, and the familiarity what that brings, the power and strength that they've got means this is a tightly poised game, I feel, and like we said, crucial to Group B.
We mentioned the warm-up games in terms of France. There's a referee, by the way, Ben Cummings. He'll be assisted by James Chard and Clint Sherrod on the touch. And Phil Bentham, our video referee. In terms of those warm-up games, bit of a shock, wasn't it, last weekend? France losing to the USA Tomahawks, 22 points to 18. Will that rattle the cage a little bit?
I think so, yeah, and it really focused the minds on this game. For me, that this World Cup is all about the teams that we don't know much about, and we know quite a lot about France. I think we'd admit that we're a little bit unsure of what we're going to get from Papua New Guinea, and that's what's exciting for me. Very much like the Tomahawks produced a surprise result. Papua New Guinea here have the opportunity to really showcase their talents in front of a really vocal and loud crowd at Craven Park, and they love the rugby here.
So the next game of this 2013 tournament, the next 80 minutes is underway as France kick to the Papua New Guineas, and it'll be the Pacific nation.
It's 1-0.
That'll be the first play of the ball in this contest. And we get to have our first real look at the Papua New Guineans.
2-0 off him. Hold it, hold back here, hey. Go.
Solid so far with ball in hand, but that French defence isn't giving too much room as Papua New Guinea drive up with Jason Chan there at Huddersfield.
It's really important here for Papua New Guinea to get off to a good start, a really settled set, and with this wind, control this kick, because as we saw the kick-off, it really held up. You'd see this fly off the boot.
So the kick from Ray Thompson. He's not judged that one too badly, has he, really?
Fantastic strike. As a kicker, that's what you're looking for. A great touch, it held up in the in-goal, but a good carry-out of trouble there from Vakari.
That was a good chase as well from the Pacific nation. More strong tackling in there from DNIA.
This is the benefit of what the French team have, is the shape and structure will not change very much from what they do at the club side, and that's such a benefit internationally. It's what all international coaches strive for, and the French team have got that, you know, already there available to them. The challenge is, you know, are they going to be predictable as a result of that? And you certainly look through the tournament for them to have to come up with a different plan.
So it's floated. And the key's hand out on a full. It is. Misjudged that one into the wind. Tommy Bosch.
Yeah, again the wind playing a part in that kick. Really, Thomas Bosch renowned in Super League for striking the ball very well, and that's probably not one of his best.
Just got caught up into that wind. You just mentioned that France going into the wind in this first half. It's behind the back of the Cummels as they are over at 40 now. Bit of pressure on this French defence.
The PNG are going to rely a lot on this man playing the ball now, Mexico. You know, a big man who's going to get them on the front foot. Off the back of that, then the guys like Chan and Costigan will come into the game. But the big front rowers need to really do a great job for Papua New Guinea today.
Here we go again. Mexico stopped in his tracks there. Misses one. Kept hands as well on this left-hand side into Yuri. Just forcing the ball out eventually. Sliding defence going across, but Papua New Guinea showing what they can do with ball in hand.
It's great experience there from Clint Greenshields. Not usually a winger, but showing great positional awareness there. We've talked about Menzieri and some of the great talents that he's brought to the championship, but a great piece of defence there from Clint Greenshields. Any young wingers there, positioned himself in the optimum spot that allowed him to defend both the centre and the winger, forced the Papua New Guinea winger into touch there.
Okay, Brian.
Doesn't look like they're going to be shy as well.
It's a great contact sport, isn't it?
Just awaiting the ball, crucial element.
Stay in there, David. In it, hit
So
it.
Bosch will input the ball on that French side. Here he's in there with a tackling,
Here it is.
as well as the big man in Neville Costigan, 28-year-old playing at Newcastle. A strong tackle.
Certainly started very physically of Papua New Guinea. One thing that you do notice is they're very raw. The technique's probably not great, but lots of aggression, and that's what you need in the start of a big game. But ultimately, the technique's going to be called into question. Situations like that, where the markers get broken up, it allows Pelissier, who's the dummy half for France, to get out and cause problems and give away penalties like that, and that's where the raw technique of the Papua New Guinean players is going to be an issue all day. I think that's the right decision. He really disrupted the ruck and stopped Pelissier from getting a clean run at the ball.
21-year-old Pelissier, playing with Catalans, born in Perpignan.
Hold it, hold. Go.
Pelissier again. Through hands, there you go. Strong run,
Yeah, pull.
making the metres down the middle.
All the way.
Jamal Fakir does that every week in Super League. Such a difficult player to tackle. So very low centre of gravity, and it makes him play the ball very quickly. And off the back of that, offloads, as we see from Muniz.
Step back inside. Almost a little bit of room there for Bartho on his 8th appearance of France. Let us step inside again. Is it Bosch that's got through? Has he got the ball down? Referee's having a look, and he gives a try. France the first to draw blood in this game 3 of the Rugby League 2013 World Cup. Bosch gets the ball down.
Yeah, Thomas Bosch catching the ball, told a bit of a lie with his eyes, showed the ball to the outside, stepped off his left foot. As we see here, Pelissier with some clean service from dummy half to Bosch. Bosch looked up, really just squared up. It was a little bit too easy, if you're honest. Papua New Guinea defence really didn't do enough. 2 experienced players in Ayton and Chan would have hoped to have done better, but a great piece of awareness, firstly from Pelissier to get the ball to Bosch at the right time, and from Bosch to hit the ball square and at pace and score the try. And that all came from the penalty that gave field position to France. And I think what we've seen as well is that because of the Papua New Guineans' raw technique, that Pelissier is going to have a very busy day. It's going to be a lot of running.
Bosch is going to line up the extra 2 as well. Wonder if that will settle a few nerves. They didn't have a great campaign in 2008, did France? Finishing with a wooden spoon. Shock defeat to the USA last week. 5 minutes in though, first at score in this game, and it looks like they'll be leading by 6 points to 0. And indeed they are.
I think you're right to mention 2008, because that will definitely be in the back of the French players' minds. Also, the result in the first friendly fixture against the Tomahawks. It's not been a great sort of period for international rugby league in France, so a good World Cup is crucial. A great piece of play that from Thomas Bosch. Really settles the nerves and gets France into this test match.
Definitely come a long way though, haven't they, France, in the last 5 years? You look at the way that the Catalans now compete in Super League. The difference between then and 5 years ago and now is massive, and maybe that'll show in this Rugby League World Cup competition. David Mead for Papua New Guinea with the kick-off. The wind behind it, judged that one as well. Just enough on it. First point of contact, Jason Chan.
Up, go. PNG up. Keep coming, Paul. Go, 2.
You can see the raw technique from Papua New Guinea. Fakir with this low centre of gravity, as we mentioned, very difficult to stop. But the Papua New Guinea players, there's a lot of effort. But I think what one of the issues is going to be the technique.
Here's Jean-Philippe Bale on this right-hand side. Pelissier back into dummy half. Bosch through hands. It's a Fakir who takes a knock and gets the ball away. Kick this time from Bartho. into that wind. But at this time,
it's a great set of 6 that from France, I think, to march Papua New Guinea down the field, come up with a good kick, and they'll be looking to put on the back of this a really strong defensive set.
2. Hold it, mark it straight. Wait.
how can the Commonwealth get in this set of 6? Looking to get the ball away. Managed it. It's opened a bit of space, but tackle from Barthor, just getting hold of the ankle. Stop the momentum, so as they were looking to get away. Mexico again. Not too far.
Hold it for 4. Wait.
Floating it, misses out here, he wasn't quite there. Deployed the tackle, and it was intercepted by Green Shields. Now a penalty as well.
Yes.
Sloppy from Papua New Guinea.
It's a risky pass from Boas in these conditions to throw the big long ball. I think the wind is obviously such a big issue, and it was very difficult for Menzieri to actually get his hands on the ball. And a great read there from Clint Greenshields, showing his experience again. 2 great pieces of experienced wing play from Greenshields so far in this game.
Pelissier waiting for the ball as France attack. You've noticed as well that we've been mentioning Olivier Elimé, the French captain, out on the field. The team sheets we showed you before didn't have him down, but interception. PNG keep on the ball. It's a lovely interception. Again taking the risk, but this time it comes off. And what can they do now? Catch France on the back foot.
Here.
The scrum half Boas looks immediately like a very good instinctive rugby league player. You know, he's got all of the little attributes that you're looking for.
Here is the intercept.
Vision of you know, a great half-back there to really anticipate the play, come up with the ball. But from me, initially, you know, he looks like a great instinctive rugby league player.
Paul Aiton at dummy half. Just pops it out. Wakefield man again at dummy half. This time into the sky. The wind doesn't seem to have caught that one, but there's plenty Papua New Guinea men underneath it. It bounces, it's tapped back. Not too much space. The ball's out the back door, offloaded into the hands of Magua, who'll bring it away for France. Trying it.
Certainly not shy at offloading the ball. Both sides, actually, and some mistakes in the game, but very exciting to watch. I think both sides certainly want to promote the ball, but coming up with the mistakes, and it's just probably disrupting the flow of the game at the moment. And Chan tried to flick it out the back door, intercepted by France, and then a mistake from the resulting play of the ball.
10 metres.
There's our referee, Ben Cummings. That's from the infringement. And I've scrum down 20 metres away from that French line.
Okay. Arms around. Okay.
There's Richard Agar, coach of France.
Off it now.
Was the most recently appointed coach until the swap with USA last week.
Just speaking to people around the French camp, they say that Richard's brought in some real structure and discipline to the international setup there, the French team, and brought in some good staff with him as well. And probably credit him with the way that France have started this game. And you know, obviously a disappointing result in the first friendly, but you know, his influence you can see immediately on the team in terms of the structure, the training. I think has all been tidied up at that side.
So the French just breaking into the Papua New Guinea territory. French side, in fact, one of the first to host the Rugby League World Cup back in 1954. Finished runners-up to England that year. The kick through from the French as it boils over a little bit.
It's a little bit of late contact there from Chan on the kicker. I think the touch judge has spotted it. The referee coming to us was straight onto it. It's one of those things that's just not allowed in the game anymore. As soon as the kicker kicks the ball, you know, the pressure of the sort of old school mentality to go and put him off kicking the ball again is not allowed. And you know, the French guy seems to be down there.
It's Ascari that's down. Catalan's man in his debut season this year, really impressed. 19 tries in 20 appearances. In fact, no, it's Barthol, isn't it? Who,
okay, let's blind it,
took the hit. So we're back off, and a big push as well from the French scrum there.
Here, Fred.
Papua New Guinea still with ball in hand. Physical, intense rucks brought away from dummy half.
I think that's the way that Papua New Guinea have got to play, on the front foot now, playing through Costigan, you know, some of the bigger guys, Mexico. These players with Paul Layton, who's a really clever dummy half, that's the way that Papua New Guinea will win this game. For France, it's controlling the ruck, making it slow and controllable, and they'll be in with a great chance of winning the game as well.
Kick into the skies. The referee was making sure that the French were onside. Lovely take from Greenshields. He's used to the high ball, isn't he? Caught plenty of those in his time.
He has, yeah, great take. Again, the wind, you know, it is making the ball move in an unusual manner here. We're travelling a lot further than you'd expect, but what intensity from the Papua New Guinea guys. Unfortunately, the referee called held. Goes back to play the ball, but great intensity there from the Papua New Guinean defenders.
You mentioned the pace and the intensity that this game started. It's not relented, not yet. French getting the roll on then.
Fakir's been fantastic for France so far. Some really big carries. The game speeds up whenever Fakir's involved, and that's, as coaches and players, you're always looking to play the game at a fast pace, and Fakir's allowing that to happen for France.
So the final play for the French, looking to run it as well. It's found Greenshields. Greenshields got to put boot on ball. Does hold up in that wind. Bounces favourably. Oh, almost boshed underneath it. Eventually a yellow shirt grabs it. Bit of ingenuity from the French, not just your average sixth play.
No, I'd like to say that it was premeditated, but I think with the wind, I think they're just getting to a kick, and anything will do at the moment. There's very little chance of you kicking the ball dead, it seems. You know, France concede a penalty here, and that's exactly what Papua New Guinea will be looking for, just to get them out of their half. Remy Casti perceived to have interfered at the ruck. This is the opportunity now. Papua New Guinea get into the French half of the field, and you know, they've shown a real willingness to pass the ball when they're down here, and I'm sure they'll do that again.
Zenock Marquis driving through for the Papua New Guineas. It's a big hit, isn't it, as Mexico tries to break that blue line. French defence good again. Making good meters though, the Papua New Guinea side. Mexico plays for Les Tigers, the 24-year-old down in Papua New Guinea. Bit of space opens up as they drive underneath the sticks. Picked up by Ace, and he fancies it. Can he get there? He's held up, I think. The referee will send him back. But the Wakefield man, born down in Mount Hogan, Papua New Guinea. He saw the line, thought he could do it.
He's actually penalised the French for being offside here. Unless both of your feet are on the line, you're offside. And it's quite frustrating as a player because it's not policed, I'd say, very efficiently, but it's given Papua New Guinea a full set of 6 now on the French line, and you know, they'd certainly be looking to get some points out of this little venture in the French half.
So can they hold out? Can the Papua New Guineas force a hole in that defence? Again, looking to drive through by the post. Held calls the referee.
By the ball.
Couldn't get there, could Mexico, as Ayton now fires the ball out. The runners are there. The ball's out the back. He bounces off the head into the arms of the Papua New Guinea winger over on the far side. He slams the ball down.
There's a lot to look at here, isn't there? It was a great piece of skill, a great dummy shot. It looked like the 6, it looked like he'd gone through to score the try. Thompson really thought he'd managed to get the offload away, and potentially a try.
We're going to have a look.
Okay, we're going to check whether this is off the head or whether it's a knock-on. Looks like there might be some contact with the hands, but I need to have another look at that, please. Have we got a different angle on that? Because that actually looks like the head. Maybe just a little bit slower, please. Okay. Actually, can't see any contact with the hands there.
I have an opinion.
Yep. That looks like it's just the head. We can play on, please. We need to continue to the grounding.
Bridge! Back here! Wait.
Yeah, can we show the little bit in between as well? So it's running straight through. Okay. We're happy now that this is off the head after looking at 2 angles. That's off the head. It's then knocked forward by Qatar, and that's a try.
As we await the decision. There it is. Plenty cheers as well for the Papua New Guineas. It comes off the head. Came off the head of Israel Eliab on debut and touchdown. Nenny McDonald gets Papua New Guinea's first try of this 2013 Rugby League World Cup.
Ray Thompson really created that try. Again, done with the ball, stepped off his left foot, offloaded. There was a lot to look at for Phil Bentham, the video referee there, contacts with the head, but ultimately a try for Papua New Guinea. We've got great support here at Craven Park. We mentioned at the beginning that Hull KR specifically, this is their home ground. I've had a long-standing tradition with great Papua New Guinean players, Stanley Jean, John O'Cull, you know, legends of the Papua New Guinean game.
Conversion attempt just pulled across the front, so France hold that 2-point lead. Here he is, Nenny Bosun McDonald. There it is, Thompson, out the back door, bounces off the head of Eliab. The man in the right place at the right time was McDonald. Takes a knee, puts the ball down, 4 points.
I think he'll take that one as a relatively easy try for him. A lot of the hard work is done by Thompson on the inside. Bit of luck, but that's what you need in a World Cup, isn't it?
See those kicks hold up in the wind.
Just a little bit of rain started as well. That, you know, could potentially make the ball greasy. We're going to have to be very conscious of the grip on the ball in the next 5 or 10 minutes.
Driving again. That train shows no signs of slowing up. Bound for Mexico.
That's 4, bring it back!
Hayton floats the ball out as Aste Boas puts the kick in. Green shields. Back on his own line. Turns around. 4 yellow shirts in his way. And they're putting him back as well. The ball's loose. Referee called held.
As an attacking player, to turn around when you pick the ball up and see that Papua New Guinean chase coming at you, it's not one of the most appetising things that you'll encounter in your rugby career. I played against the Papua New Guineans in North Queensland in the 2008 World Cup, and you know, it's an intimidating experience. And like we mentioned, the technique's not always great, but the aggression's there, the physicality's, you know, guaranteed, and that's difficult to play against.
Jesse Doan-Dai on there, getting his first real tackle as the rain not just starts to come down a little bit, but it's starting to come down quite a lot.
Last one!
On that 40 inside the French half, the kick goes through.
Can't underestimate the influence the wind's having on the game, certainly in the kicking department. France are really struggling to make genuine yardage with their kicks. Fortunately enough, their pack, Fakir, the likes, are making, you know, great yardage round the rucks, and that's what's getting France down to the right end of the field. But a real struggle for their kicking game at the moment.
Penalty to the Papua New Guineans as we mentioned the weather, but I think it's what you call a short shower. Came down heavy for 20 seconds or so, just to add a few tricky conditions. to the already very blustery conditions we have.
We've got the wind, the rain, anything else. You know, the players won't be too happy about that. But a great chance again for Papua New Guinea to throw the ball around and potentially get some points.
Good territory for them as Ayton comes through their hands as they find Ndai.
Here it is. Here.
Looking for it on this near side, a penalty. No, referee says that. Is that incorrect play of the ball?
Yeah, again, we mentioned the rain, and straight away it's had an influence.
Number
Just
7.
can't really afford to lose your grip on the ball. There's probably an argument there was an element of interference. I'm sure the Papua New Guinean
I think
team
Ndai was looking for it.
I think so, potentially, but the mistake's been made, and you know, France get the ball back now, and I think they'll look to continue getting out of the half with ease, which they seem to do, France. But as we mentioned, the wind makes it very difficult to actually secure great field position with a kick.
So off the back of the scrum, he was man for man on this side. Jean-Philippe Bale in possession, the play of the ball then. So Pelissier fires it out.
Hold! Release! Hold it, hold.
Intensity on that ruck again. Quarter of the game played. Still intense.
Hold! Stand now! Hold! Hold! Go. Pull! Quicker! Go now. Go.
Pelissier going on that shorter side through Bartho.
With the last, lead the ball!
In the final play of this French set. We've seen what happens when they put their high kicks up, so that one's fairly flat, fairly comfortable take. Once again, it's not a bad chase from the
Number
French.
1 up! Back in, come on, leader. Hold it.
There's no way route through that wall.
It's a nice little part of the game. This is teams, when you start to get through the ebb and flow of a game, we call it the arm wrestle, where neither team's really in the ascendancy, but just trying to really find the next chink in the defensive line, or may force an error with some great defence, and that's what process the game's in at the moment.
Menzayeri having a go down the middle. Ayton as well, wants to get going, doesn't he?
Hold! Last one, play the ball!
Two great dummy halves today. Ayton and Pelissier, two great dummy halves.
Assay Boas with the kick into the sky. There's chasers underneath it, but Green Shields is there as well.
That's one!
North Queensland cowboy man knows his French compatriots well, doesn't he? As Scare tries to scamper through
Stand down!
on debut, winning his first cap for France.
That's 3! Hold it, hold. Wait, wait. Go. That's
Costigan's
4!
in there.
Leave him!
Holding
Back in,
down
back here.
Vincent Duport.
Go. 5 and last! Out here, out
Mikel
here.
Simon.
Back.
He's
Get
a
up.
big man, very
Go.
big,
Simon.
very tough to stop. And that's what the French have got that in abundance. Is a kick from Bartho,
Charged down.
but knocked on there. I think Thompson thinks that he hasn't knocked it on, but you'd say that it's a great piece of effort to put the kick under pressure, but unfortunately couldn't regather the ball, made the mistake, and that's unfortunate. A good piece of effort and intensity from Thompson to put pressure on Bartho, the kicker, but couldn't quite come up with the ball.
Mentioned Green Shields, Ray Thompson there, North Queensland cowboy teammate. Green Shields as the coach, Adrian Lamb.
Out!
Sends down some more instructions of Mal Meninga in centre shot.
What an influence he must be
16
having.
up.
What a fantastic presence. One of the legends of world rugby, helping the Papua New Guinean squad. They can't help but be motivated by him. Such an inspirational guy like that around.
Too slow. Way too slow, Paul.
Penalty against the Pacific nation. And France will, well, they've gone for this tap. They don't trust that kick, do they, into that wind? The ball's come loose, though. Which way is the referee going to give this one?
Yeah.
It's the French who had possession. There was hands in there.
Four.
It's Elima carrying the ball. Good tackle from Ayton and Costigan. Costigan's renowned.
That was interference.
I tackle again, be a penalty against you.
He's renowned for being a ferocious defender, Costigan. Very few people actually run in his direction, and the reason is because of things like this. High tackle and an aggressive tackle. We're not sure whether it was Costigan or Ayrton who made contact with the head, but you know, in the modern game, the touch judges, the referee, the fourth official in the stand are all communicating, so you know, it's very difficult to actually get away with any indiscretions like that. And Ayrton just came over the top, needless really. The Costigan had already affected the tackle, and the mistake was made off the back of that.
Can the French make them pay for it? 10 metres away now as Pelissier has a look. Chouet misses one as Bartho has to check his run, spins through.
Make the line, make the line.
Costigan's in there, and a first man was Larson Mabare. Bosch back inside, looking for the offload. They have got the offload away. Somehow Pelissier had it, and he manages to throw it back.
That's 4.
Still got tackles remaining, but now 20 to make up.
Wait for it, wait. Go.
Bartho at dummy half this time. Ascari puts boot on ball. It's going to land. Oh, it almost bounced up nicely. Taken though by the Papua New Guinea defence, and they'll need to build because the pressure will keep coming from that French defence.
A disappointing set of 6 for France. That I think we spoke about this continuity and the relationships what they've got from being Catalan Dragons together, but it was really lacking in that set. They lacked structure, shape, and they came up with a poor kick from Ascari down the short side on tackle 3 or 4. So you know, disappointing set, and it just gifted Papua New Guinea the ball. When really everything France should be doing is restricting the amount of possession this Papua New Guinea side have.
Last one, 12. Back
Final play of this set. Papua New Guinea. Wind behind them. The rain coming down again now. It's checked. Just see how much that's caught by the wind. They've got the measure of it though, haven't they? The Papua New Guineans in the first half. Decent kicking game so far.
PNG here. Go.
Manova at the moment, French side, if they can get the play of the ball on this right-hand side. But
wait, go.
Papua New Guinea defence now, man for man.
Surrender! Bring it back, bring it back.
I think conditioning is going to be an important part of this game. You know, can the Papua New Guineans maintain an intensity for the full 80 minutes? They've got, you know, a number of guys who are playing in the local Papua New Guinean competition. You know, can they sustain this intensity for the full 80 minutes? And that's a big challenge for them. You know, certainly their technique will be tested under fatigue come the end of this game.
Simon inside the 40-metre line for France. Green shields, but again, the hands are in there from Assé Boas. Look to get another interception. Couldn't keep hold of it this time. So we're getting a bit intense there. Josiah Abavu tackling for Papua New Guinea. It was all over Kevin Leroyer.
That's one with me. PNG. Hold it. Go.
Conditions out there. All a little slippy, isn't it?
Yeah, Elmer there, I think what he's guilty of doing is trying to get up, trying to play the ball quickly, but as a result he moved off the mark. He essentially made the markers offside by moving off the mark, and I think forced the referee to give that decision. It's always disappointing, and you know, when you give a penalty away when you've got the ball, you know, it's very difficult to do, and you know, France have just managed it.
Hey, here you go. Okay, put it in the tunnel. Put it in.
So Boas will feed the scrum.
Out.
Yeri. And a penalty. Offside, French. So it relieves a bit of that pressure. They'll have more metres as well. We mentioned Assé Boas before the game. He's looking good at the moment. One of the stars of the Papua New Guinea competition. Their 10-team domestic league.
Here.
Certainly looks a very handy player. He's got all the tools in the toolbox that you need to be a rugby league player. He looks confident with the ball in hand. He can pass, he can kick, he can run. He's been a bit cheeky, gone for a couple of interceptions. Probably defensively the coach won't be really happy with that. But you know, he looks like a good player, and I'm sure a lot of Super League clubs will have their eye on many of these Papua New Guinean players.
Jesse Doe and Dye, my nose is Jesse Joe Parker, drives up to the 10-metre line. Boas at first receiver, back into Yuri.
Oh dear, go. Last one. Oh, now
Final
hold.
play.
Go.
Ayton. The kick. Just a bit too high.
Just trying to put it just above the. I think Vakari's head on that far side and really just hang it out there to be caught two-handed like the AFL players do in Australia, but just a little bit too hard. Again, the wind probably making it difficult for Thompson to judge. But the right idea, I think, a good ploy. He's certainly got some height as Naney McDonald, and it'll be something that we'll probably look to execute more often in the game from this point.
So now Theo Farge is open. It's on for the French at dummy half with the skull cap. Farge into Vakari.
Up now! Here and hold. Hold! Right.
They're not struggling to make yardage, the French, and whenever the game speeds up around the ruck, they look very dangerous. And we mentioned that raw technique from the Papua New Guineans. It means that there's opportunities around to play the ball when the French team seem to get in trouble when they want to move the ball too wide. Stay around the middle, that's where all the joy is. And again, trying to move the ball too much, the simple plays around the ruck and making those markers and the air defenders, which the two defenders either side of the ruck make tackles when they seem to be moving the ball for moving the ball's sake, and that's sometimes the sign of quite a naive team in terms of the actual game sense. And I think that's one thing that's probably been lacking from the French team so far this half, is that game sense from the people who touch the ball the most, the half-backs in Bosque, Bartow, and I'm sure there'll be something that Egal mentioned at half-time with 8 minutes to go together.
So a forward pass from the French. Gives the ball away. It's been a close first half so far.
Hold it, hold back here. Right.
Very physical too.
3 now. Mark strike. Here and hold.
Plenty runners for Papua New Guinea. Boas into David Mead of Gold Coast Titans.
Back here, 14, hold.
Charlie Wabo now on at dummy half. Dummy's one way, he's got men over, but he's out. He's got a foot in touch as Josiah Abavu. The idea was there. Charlie Wabo of Mendy Marooks.
An immediate influence, Wabo, since he's come on there. A couple of good touches, a good ball, and now that the corner flag is no longer out of play, wingers are looking for this play. He's already in touch, but should that, if his feet hadn't have been in touch there with the dive and the way he grounded the ball, if this was a try, we see unfortunately his feet are in touch. But a lot of wingers in the NRL are looking to finish like that. Again, a big hang time. It's creating these dramatic moments where we're not sure whether the ball's down or not, but unfortunately his feet were in touch before they executed the dive.
Out. Hold! Here, PNG, 15.
So just that 2-point lead, the French hold.
That's 2. Here and hold.
The first to score with Tommy Bosch. It's a penalty against the Papua New Guineas. Will give a bit of field possession to the French, as again we get another rainstorm stroke shower.
I just wonder if the Papua New Guinean side will be ruining, not making the most of this wind and the conditions that seem to be in their favour. We speak about the conditions playing a big part. It's disappointing. Laroya there, we've dragged in touch, and a great piece of defence from Boas. A small man on a big back row. Laroya's renowned for having great leg speed, being a really strong guy, and Boas got under him, picked him up, pushed him towards the sideline, and just as we said, Papua New Guinea maybe aren't making the most of their opportunities. They get another one, and the French team will be disappointed with that. But a great piece of defence, and we should celebrate that more. Great defence is something we need to see more of in this competition, and probably in English rugby as well. A great piece of defence from Boas.
Trying to back Menzieri on his own on this left side. He's not regained possession either. The referee's given a knock on. And just at that moment, I was just going to say, They look raw, don't they, at times, Papua New Guinea, but they know, they've got the rule book, they know how to do it, they know what they want to do. It's just not quite there.
Yeah, just raw again. We mentioned about throwing those long balls in these conditions, in the wind. They tried one earlier in the half to Menzieri again. You know, I feel sorry for the guys. Had to catch sort of two terrible balls. But you know, in these conditions, short passes, keeping it simple, playing quick around the middle of the field is the key. And both sides have been guilty of trying to probably distribute the ball a little bit too much when opportunities like this, as we see Duport get up, play the ball quickly, just to play tight around the ruck. As Simone again gets to his hands and knees, he's going to play the ball quickly. For me, just keep at that area. It's where all the joy is against this Papua New Guinean side.
Stay down. Hold it.
There's a slip there
15.
from Jean-Philippe Bale.
Four.
So now Simon
On there, hold.
drives again for the French. Farge is at dummy half. It's a little forward, but
Last one. Here, 14.
possibly in the hands of Fakir. Kick through. He's holding it well. It's Boas who picks it up. He'll be forced to drop out. Sensible stuff. Wanted to have a look at it. And took the ball.
It's a good kick there from Bartho. Good weight on it. Good chase. Followed his own kick up, and a good tackle on Boas. Two scrum halves tackling each other.
Just wait. On the line.
See the completed sets so far. 14 to 10. And complete 5 to 8. So
the completion rate from Papua New Guinea really not good enough. Like we said, will they be ruined not making the most of these conditions? I'd say yes. You know, with 18 sets of 6 to have completed 10 of them, you know, that's really sub-international standard completion. And we talk about completion, finishing your sets of 6 and getting to a kick at the end of it, and they're not doing that well enough.
Bosch with a little dummy. Finds Moody. He's trying to get the ball away.
Off the ball. Hold it, hold. Go.
Back here again.
That's 4, up with it. Hold here.
Trying to make the most of these final few minutes of the first half. Farge is trying to dive through the referee. Is he down there? Well, we're going to have a look at this. We're going to see if France have got their second try of the game. Video referee in Phil Bentham.
We're going to check for double movement. We'll look in slow motion first. Slow-mo first, please. Looks tackled there, and he looks to advance it. That's the first goal. We're going to have another look from behind, please. Ball's grounded, and they're in contact with him. And it looks to be a second movement. Can we run that one at normal speed, please? Yeah, the one that we've just had at normal speed, please. Not that one, the next one, please. On the other side. He's dead. Yeah, it looks a second movement to me.
Yep.
That's no try. It's going to be a penalty, double movement.
Okay, mate, thank you.
No try for Farges then. Scrambling a little bit too far.
What we did mention there was, I spoke about the French forwards playing the ball quickly. Fakir has been particularly effective for the French all afternoon when he's been on the field. Played the ball quickly, and should Farges have got over the line, it would have been credit to that quick play the ball that Fakir provided.
See the rain that they're playing in as well. Just thundering it down again.
With me, back.
In this first half. Fairly wet out there at the moment. Wind just trailing in behind the backs of the Papua New Guineans. Plenty blue shirts around here.
13, back here. Wait. Go. 3 up, 14.
Barry
Here.
getting a bit of speed up.
He looks like a powerful boy.
Good hands, good legs.
That's 4 off him. Here.
Warbo, replacement Hooker. Juggled ahead, it's picked up by Fakir. He's got the ball away. play, and now it's a foot chase. Barthow's got the ball out. It's just over the head of Akari.
Just not needed. With 1 minute 40 left on the clock here, the French would have been thinking, you know, play the ball, you know, don't risk that pass, play the ball and then carry the set on. There's opportunities to score in this set. A great pick-up by Fakir, offload to Barthold. Just didn't need to throw that. And again, in these conditions, very risky play, and it didn't come up for the French team. And I think Richard Agar will be thinking about that. Get to the end of that set of 6, close the half out, but they've given Papua New Guinea the ball on their own 40 line, granted, but it gives them the ball with, you know, a minute 20 on the clock to do something for the rest of this half.
So as the clock ticks down at the end of this first 40 minutes, Game 3, of course, of the Rugby League World Cup for 2013. Wabo at dummy half then. Another drive from Bahre. Looking for the interference, but the referee's not having it.
That's 3, here it is. Hold it hard. Wait, go.
They're all set behind the ball. Thompson just drifts it back.
4-0. Fred. Wait. Go. Last one.
Once again with McDonald.
It's me. Go. 13.
I think France will be pleased with how they defended this half. I think we've got to give them some credit here. They've defended very well. And you know, to Papua New Guinea have had a lot of possession. They've made a lot of mistakes as well, but a lot of possession down in the French end, and they've defended very well. And you know, real credit to them and Richard Agar for that commitment to each other to defend.
Kick into touch, just running down the clock. Neither side really seems too keen to get that scrum down to get a final play this first half, so I think that's all the action that we'll be having here at Craven Park at half-time. Papua New Guinea trail France by 6 points to 4. It's been entertaining, it's been close, it's been intense. The physicality of both sides.
Even right across the board, the French would be a little happy with their completed sets, Robbie.
Yeah, they definitely would. I still think, though, they're going to come out in the second half and they're going to try and put that pressure on the Kumals. And the fact that the Kumals didn't complete all their sets means that they're generally going to do more defence. And I think that is one part of the game that they'll be looking to tighten up, make sure that they get to the back end of the sets, because they're going to need to get that ball as far down the field as much as possible.
All right, well, I'll put you on the spot. Who wins it from here, Robbie?
I'm going to have to say probably with their Super League experience and the amount of professionals that they have in the French team, it's probably 10 in them there. And I got to admit, the wind behind them is massive at Craven Park.
Tries from the first half, and Thomas Bosk was the man who got the scoring underway in the French campaign for 2013.
A half has to be threat first off, and as he started to have a crack at the line. So Chan moved up in the line, and Edson didn't quite move as far, and Thomas Bosk backed himself, as all good half should of the early, so he becomes a threat for the rest of the game. They can't let go of him, and off his left foot and just drops his shoulder and just drops his head and drops you ain't going to stop me. And unfortunately, Jason Chan and Paul Ayton can't get there and make the play.
Love a half who runs at the line, close to goal line, prepared to take on the defence, and a little the same, bit of skill and a little bit of luck as well.
Thompson the same, he took the line on, great bit of skill, clean bowled him, hit him in the head. I think it was Elliot, hit him in the head, there he is, clean bowled, hits him in the head, play on. And there's McDonald, the big boy from Penrith, I believe he plays that, and catches the ball, and an element of luck, but you have to say that Thompson created the threat in the first and foremost by going through the line.
Well, you get the tries any way you can. We didn't get any more tries from the first half, but we did have a few close calls, and I think that's going to be the story of the second half. It may just be a missed tackle that decides this game tonight.
Yep, I agree, and I think Theo Farge there clearly adjudicated with the double movement. I think that's the right call, but he picked out a hole, and what Robbie was saying about this second half is that Papua New Guinea have to run the ball a lot into the wind. That might make it a lot simpler for them. And the French are going to play a little bit. They'll find some holes in and around the ruck, and people like Farge and Leroy and all the players, and Pelissier, particularly around dummy half, will have a crack.
All right, boys, we'll sit back and we'll watch the second half of France and Papua New Guinea, and then from 6 o'clock back here at Halliwell Jones Stadium for the defending champs up against Samoa. You're watching the Rugby League World Cup live on Premier Sports.
Coverage brought to you by BetDAC, the Sports Betting Exchange. Coverage brought to you by BetDAC, the sports betting exchange.
We're only halfway through day 2 of the Rugby League World Cup, an action coming from Craven Park in Hull. Let's go back to our commentators, John Wilkin and Ian Ramsdale.
The Papua New Guineans heading out onto the field. French already out there at the moment. A couple of stragglers here at Craven Park, but the French lead by 6 points to 4. And the French in this second half, the conditions will be behind them. What difference will that have? And if the Papua New Guineans can maybe just complete their sets more, put that percentage a bit higher than it is at the moment, that's what they'll want, and they could well be making this a contest all the way. So what we've had in the first half, it's raw from Papua New Guinea, but it's entertaining, good to watch at times. And the French, well, look, can they? I've got a question mark maybe in the back of their head as we see Menzieri. And it'll be PNG might get this second 40 minutes underway. Game 3, the Rugby League World Cup 2013. The French receiving the ball with that 2-point slender advantage. 40 minutes now to decide who could win this potentially crucial game. And have the Papua New Guineas, have they forced an error there?
Look at that enthusiasm from the kickoff. But firstly, I feel like the wind has just died down a little. It's certainly not quite as strong as it was in that first half, but great kick chase. And we talk about the experience of Charlie. I think it was Charlie Wabo there in the tackle to pick such a big guy up in Simone and drop him on his back and force the error. And a great start to the second half from the Papua New Guinean defence.
I mentioned the jubilation as well. Fired up out of the second half. The Commonwealth having kicked the ball into the French hands. They've got it back in theirs. And there's not too far to go.
Off in there, make the
Bars their way
line.
through the centre. As Wabo stands in at dummy half.
Go.
Jesse Doandaye
That's right, up with it, up.
pushing on a couple of extra metres. Wabo misses one. And a force their way through.
That's 4.
There's Richard Cambo.
Up now, French. Hold it, hold.
Centimetres away.
Go. 13 up, 13. Oh,
Jason Chan can't find any room either. As that's their 5th tackle of the set used up. And they squeeze on his left-hand side. He's got hands, and they're in the corner. Josiah Abavu, but his first try for Papua New Guinea. And they've come out in this second half. They know what they want, and they've got themselves into the lead.
We were talking about converting some of this pressure into points, and they've started the second half with a real bang. We thought the French would come out and be too strong, but great play there from Papua New Guinea. A really fantastically executed move there. Boas getting out the back of a lead runner, then to surpass the ball to McDonald, the winger. You know, a great piece of play. It's not McDonald. It's Abavu.
Whether you play your rugby league in the park or whether you play it in front of a few thousand people at Craven Park, hands like that and tries like that, everyone's proud of.
Yeah, it was a great try and celebrated in the way I like to see tries celebrated. You know, they really took enjoyment out of that, and you know, and rightly so. It was a well-constructed try, and again, they've took made the most out of that first opportunity they've been given, and that'll rattle the French team now, without doubt. The French would have been expecting to come out, put together some of the things that Richard Agar had been saying to them. Start with a really consistent first few minutes of the half, but that hasn't happened. The Papua New Guinean have rattled the French with some solid defence, ended up scoring a great try and have gone into the lead.
I wonder if these Papua New Guinea players are trying to get that question mark put in the back of the French players' heads as the extra 2 were attempted. Just again, didn't quite have the pull on it. David Mead of the Gold Coast Titans there. And there is Abavu. See the hands come across. There's Boas into Abavu of Port Moresby Vipers, playing his rugby league in the capital of Papua New Guinea. Absolutely delighted to score his first try for Papua New Guinea. Now it's back with the heads on the game. Don't get carried away. They got to build 100 metres to make up.
Up now! Here and hold. Go. Guys, I'm not no comms, I'm just taking it out. 2 now, bring it back, freeze here!
If anything, that's put a bit more fuel on the fire, hasn't it? Warbo just offloading again. Farge is making the tackle for France.
Hold it,
knocked out by his compatriots.
Go.
Big hit.
That's 4! Right here, 8! Go. Last one! Back here, 6!
Not easy to run round.
Hold it, hold!
Mikael Simon.
Go.
Nice step and out the back door as well. Man over. There he is, Nene Bosa McDonald. Cuts back inside, almost round. Trying to play 50 metres they ran with that ball in hand in Papua New Guinea. They were only 5 away from scoring another.
Go.
The French were expecting the kick-off, Thompson, and you know, he dummied the ball, and again, he flicked the ball out for the first try. Papua New Guineans' first try, did the same again. A great piece of skill, and the Papua New Guineans are putting the French under some real scrutiny here, some real pressure.
Back here, 12.
You know, the French will just be looking for a bit of respite. We're only 4 minutes into the half. They've barely had the hands on the ball, and when they have, they've been in the deepest, darkest part of their half, and they'll be certainly looking to get out of this position as quickly as possible.
4 now.
Talk about the intensity throughout the first 40 minutes, and we've seen exactly the same. Kick through then. Taken comfortably. And here comes David Mead. Got a man on his left-hand side. Doesn't want to use him. I'll take this, thank you.
It's a good faulty yards gain from Mead, the fullback. You know, great speed and just good yardage. And Papua New Guinea is straight into the French territory again. We're going to have another opportunity to get some points on the board. If not get points on the board, they'll be looking to get another set of 6 through a repeat set, getting the ball into the in goal.
Yuri with that previous drive. He's now Dion Aye.
Here, 14, 11.
Presses further down. Wow, they're in the final 20 metres, Papua New Guinea.
Stand now. Hold here, hold. Wait, 14. Go.
Here's Warbo. Kick through, a little bit too strong. Tried to catch it in the wind, didn't he, Ase Boas of Rabil Grius?
We talked about Boas having all the tools you need. He just looks a little bit green and just lacking that little bit of finesse that maybe experience brings. But I think he's certainly a promising player. And yeah, it gives the ball to the French team on the 20, and then now they get the opportunity to just start rolling down the field like we spoke about in the first half, bringing the bigger players onto the ball. Farges, Fakir, that classic combination for France in nearly led to a try. But this is where the French need to be. Just simple sets, playing the ball quickly, and I'm sure they'll come back into this.
Sebastian Rogoin, ball in hand now for France as Farges waits a dummy half. Little sloppy play of the ball, little sloppy as the ball floated out, and the referee don't know whether he was going to give it, wasn't going to give it, was Ben Cummings?
He wasn't the player I think Bartho gave himself up there, really. I think that, you know, it didn't look like a clear knock-on at the play of the ball, but, you know, Bartho didn't do his mate Farges any favours there. He more or less gave the decision for the referee, and he gladly obliged.
Oh, there, wait there, put it in.
So the Cummels now back with ball in hand, just inside their own half. Another charge from Israel Elibab on debut.
Wait.
He also plays for Port Moresby Vipers down in PNG.
2! Back here, 1.
It's been all Papua New Guinea so far in the second half. In the first 7.5 minutes, they've completely dominated, you know, most facets of the game. They've not been error-strewn like they were in the first half. They've controlled the ball. They've you know, put on some nicely executed plays, which has led to that try. And again, they approached the 20-metre line of the French team with the ball in hand, looking to do the same play that led to the try. Unsuccessful and well defended by the French.
Warbo, as they come back along the line, little kick through, chased. Pressure on now. Can he get outside? No. Tried to skip away, didn't he? Morgan Ascari on his debut as well for France. Thought he spotted a gap, thought he could get the legs going. A kick through there, Ascari picks it up. And if you can't touch the ball down, well, the best you can do is get another 6.
Yeah, that's you know, again, sustained pressure from Papua New Guinea. A good kick, a very sensible kick,
stay behind this line.
followed up by a great chase. I think, you know, the key to this game for Papua New Guinea is, you know, the influence of Boas and Thompson, the two halfbacks. They've certainly had great games, and also the likes of Marabi, who's come off the bench, and he really isn't shy about running the ball in with ferocity and pace. And I think they're really buoyed by this start, the Papua New Guineans. They're carrying the ball with some intensity, and the French team look rattled at the moment.
Forwards making good meters, aren't they, at the moment for PNG?
30 now! Bring it back, bring it back.
Already setting themselves up just over 10 metres away. Play on, says the referee, as Warbo takes advantage of that bit of uncertainty.
Huge amount of space out to the left over to Menzieri.
That's the way they're going. Boas again. See, back inside. Little Tommy, plenty blue shirts there, but the meters are being made. Held up over the line. Go back 10.
Back there, mate, back there. Markers up, markers up. Wait, no, back on the 10 metres.
Dixon there.
Wait there.
His 7th appearance for Papua New Guinea.
5th and last. Go.
Final play. A kick through. Again. Bartho this time. Just surrounded by yellow shirts.
Great kick again from Thompson. Fantastic weight on the kick. Another good chase. And Bartho trapped in his in-goal, another repeat set. And then, you know, little plays like this and the building of pressure really does two things. It gives you the opportunity to score points, no doubt about that. It gives you field position, the chance to, you know, put more points on the board. But you know what it does? It tires the French defence out, tires the defenders out, makes them make more tackles. And, you know, come the end of the game, that the energy levels just won't be there as a result of having to defend for this extended period of time.
So, here's the 3rd consecutive set for the Papua New Guinea side. It was Richard Cambo, the first man to take the tackle. More work from Jason Chan. The ball's come loose though. It's gone to ground. Penalty, says the referee.
Right there, right there.
Everything's going their way, the Pacific nation now.
Right there, okay.
Here's Chan.
Yeah, it's Raglan just pinched the ball. You know, giving again, you know, some more time down this end of the field for Papua New Guinea, and they'll be really looking to put a structured play here to catch the French defence out, because the French have defended very well at times.
The battering rams out. They're going down the centre. Here's up.
Hold! That's 3. Play the ball.
Still 3 tackles remaining in this set then for Papua New Guinea. On that shorter side, the interception though, knocked down. It's knocked on, is it?
Pass to the right,
Hand was in, the take wasn't. Green Shields couldn't make it stick. Here he comes.
He's certainly come up with some big plays as Green Shields. He's taken the ball very well high in the air, as you'd expect for a guy who's played a lot of his career at fullback. But, you know, the team tackles there. We look at, you know, France, the 43 extra tackles than Papua New Guinea. You know, it was a very close statistic at half-time, and it just shows you, since half-time, the number of tackles the French team have had to do. And like I said, in the implication, the impact of, you know, that will have on their energy levels come the end of the game could be really influential in this match.
It's a bit sloppy coming out the back of the scrum.
right there. Okay.
Penalty goes the way of Papua New Guinea though.
Okay, French,
Jessido Ndaye has the first drive, so 5 more opportunities as they keep knocking on that door.
It's 2 up now, up, on the line. Hold, play the ball, go.
Warbo, fast hands as it comes to Jason Chan.
Movement! Wait there, wait, go, 3.
Warbo again, and he spots a gap. Is he there? Held up, says the referee. Getting closer.
Very unlucky there, Papua New Guinea, because the post really acted as a defender for the French team. The post pad wasn't there. It was an easy try. It was a great piece of play by Warbo. He skimmed across the line, looking for somebody to really punch onto the ball, and, you know, Ndaye came at pace and nearly scored a try. good defence from the French. And the French, you say they're just trying to push that door open. You feel it; it's going to fly open at any moment.
The kick. It's out to this right-hand side. Picked and flicked back inside and tapped. Can they find a way through? The Papua New Guineans know they're going to come back again. They're going to have to go. Was it played out? There was a little kick in there.
Just ready. Okay.
There's a player just getting a bit of attention just behind the ruck. But here we see that play again. Thrown round the back,
they're an
through.
exciting team to watch, aren't they? They're not scared of throwing the ball around. Again, they'll probably be disappointed this little period of pressure's not resulted in a try. But just watch the French team then as the mistake was forced. They really celebrated that, and then that shows you that how much pressure they've been under.
Come on, go.
They're in a tough group as well. Let's not forget in 2008.
Back in 6, hold Neville.
Australia, New Zealand and England. They almost shocked England, didn't they, in the first game they played.
All the way. Hold here, hold.
Leading here by 2 points.
Play on.
Now the French, they've not had the ball in hand for a while, have they? And Green Shields
here.
caught in possession.
Get up. Go.
Now with Elimet.
4. Marcus straight back here, PNG.
It's a little late, wasn't it? Finding its way out to Garcia.
Here now, right.
To track his run a little bit. As Bartho switches it back inside, trying to come up with a little combination from Morgan Ascari. Didn't quite stick. The idea was there again, and his word's being had as well. Yeah, frustration there from Bartho. He's a great player, stepped off his left foot, looking for Morgan Ascari, who's been probably one of the most exciting young players in Super League this year. Really, Ascari was so excited by the space he was in, he took his eye off the ball, and he should have caught it. A well-executed play from Bartho. He spotted the space, got the ball to the right area, and Ascari just couldn't quite come up with the catch. And quite an influential substitution there. Fakir's gone off, and he's been really the driving force behind the French pack, and it shows you when he's on and he has to defend, make a lot of tackles. They've had to get him off there to freshen him up, because he's going to have something else to offer this game. Another try from Dionaye.
Give me space. Hold it, hold. Go.
As the French back on their defensive duties.
Hold. Release.
There was a try apiece in the first half. Just one so far in the second half. Papua New Guinea both of theirs unconverted. And rolling up towards that French line as well to kick through. Blue shirt on top of it. Bartho, there he is.
Here.
He was well mopped up from Bartho there. Another dangerous looking kick for looked like McDonald was going to be clean through to score the try, but well picked up by Bartho, potentially save the try.
That's 3 off him. Hold it, hold.
Vincent Duport bringing it that time.
Hold.
Bosch caught in possession there.
Wait.
Certainly enjoying themselves, aren't they? The Papua New Guinea players out there in the moment.
All the way.
Bosch gets the kick away.
Oh, it looks like a 40-20. I'd say Bosch, by his reaction, is suggesting that this is a 40-20. And we talked about the weather and using these conditions. Bosch coming out of dummy half, right foot kick, keeping it low. Fantastic kick. And to be fair, the Papua New Guinean winger, the 2 wingers and the fullback were well placed to deal with that, but the kick was that good they just couldn't do anything about it. And, this is a real influential little piece of play here from Bosch. Shows how much experience he's got, and he's by far the most experienced halfback on the field, and he showed it there.
There's Richard Agar, the French coach. He'll be happy with that. He's side trailing at the moment, though.
Okay, David, arms around. Let's stay in. No, wait. Head in. Let's go, PNG. Go, put in. Out.
It's gone to ground, though. Not the best ball. Fakari comes up with it, though.
Here, up. Hold it, hold, wait. Go. Release.
Strong
Hold it
defensive
now,
stuff
hold.
from
Back here, back here. Go.
Cummels again. Heading into Bosch. Bosch then into Laroya.
Hold. Release. Go 3.
Using the big man in front of the
Now.
sticks again.
Go.
So what the Papua New Guineans have been doing the last 5 minutes. The kick through. Referee says everything was fine with that.
The French should be disappointed with that. I mean, it's the first time they've had the ball, you know, for an entire set in the Papua New Guineans half, and you know, probably a disappointing finish there. I think Bartho, if he could take that back, he would. But I think the promising thing there for France was they've had the ball, they've not been defending, but you know, they need to do more with the ball. The continuity and the familiarity, what they should have by playing with each other at the Catalan, is just lacking a little bit here. And you know, it's something that I'm sure the half-backs throughout the tournament will be looking to work on.
Big hit put in initially. The ball's come free as well. Apparently it was Oliver Ellinger, I think, who was the first point of contact. The ball runs loose, then Pelissier comes up with it. Still has it. Oh, he's lost the ball though. It's gone forward. Penalty though to the French.
Yeah, 2 men in the tackle, so obviously one-on-one you can steal the ball. As soon as the second man joins the tackle, that's harsh. Yeah, I'd say that's. But you know, game speed, to be fair to the referee, very difficult to pick. You know, we had the benefit of a replay, and yeah, it's an opportunity for France to take a shot at goal, which Bosch selects with the wind. You know, that shows you how important this game is in terms of getting out of the group. You know, France are well aware of how important this is, and a draw in this situation, you know, potentially maybe they're looking at that as not a bad option. There's plenty of time to run in this game with 21 minutes left, but Bosch electing to go for goal, it's a little bit of a surprise, I'd say.
Bosch, of course, the man who was called upon when Stacey Jones left the Catalans. He impressed in the 2008 Rugby League World Cup. Played well in Four Nations tournaments as well. Frenchman through the French system.
Here it is.
And with a quarter of this game to go, a vital kick at this point in the game, things would level up. Well, you see the wind, the ball having to be held on the kicking tee, and this is not an easy kick. The wind's behind him, the ball's unsteady on the tee, but it's straight between the two, and we're all square with just over a quarter of this game to go. Thomas Bosch making sure that, well, as things stand, we're all level. And Richard Agar, French coach there, now passing more instructions down pitch side. Held out as well. And with the assistant, Jerome Guisset, assistant at Catalans as well. French connections there.
It's a good kick under pressure, that, from Thomas Bosch. I think you know, he strikes the ball very well.
How will Papua New Guinea feel now, though? Because they had a really good spell, couldn't get any points on the board, and the French have had a couple of sets, got a decision, went their way, and now things are back level. Adjusting the ball down, but Papua New Guinea think that they should be ahead in this game. Is that going to play on their mind?
It's quite an interesting psychology of that situation. The French team managed to hold Papua New Guinea out for, you know, an extended period of maybe five minutes with the ball, and they celebrated that period of defence like they'd scored a try. And since then, they've obviously gone down the other end of the field. They've conceded a penalty of Papua New Guinea. They've kicked the goal and the level, and you know, they seem to be edging back into this game, the French.
Quick hands in the previous set from the French side as now they trot through with Sebastien Racquin. Here is the final play of this set as Pelissier has a look at dummy half. Comes this side to Bartho. Bartho with the kick through. Yellow shirts behind it, taken comfortably by Lenny Bosa-McDonald.
That's one off the ball.
Great pick up and carry from McDonald there. Just made those extra 4 or 5 metres. Just feel the pressure just release when you're a forward and you turn around, and your winger or the fullback has a carry like that, gets you onto the front foot, plays the ball quickly. It takes such pressure off your forward pack.
3 now. Hold.
5 blue shirts.
Hold.
And on that tackle,
Go.
committing the men.
4.
It's going to be zapping it out of the legs, though, isn't it, for France?
Go.
Little gap opens up. Trying to get through, the offload's away, but there's hands galore in there. It's picked up, though, by David Mead. He's got men on his outside. Mead with a kick. Is it too strong? It is. It goes straight into touch. Mead's not happy with himself there. Things were opening up from Papua New Guinea. Did they just need to keep ball in hand? They saw the lights.
I think you're right. Again, Papua New Guinea on offload, you know, leading to some broken field running and disappointing kick from Mead. He couldn't see what he was trying to do, trying to put the ball in the corner for the try, for the winger from Abavu, but couldn't quite execute.
And look at this, completed sets for both sides. 20 completed. As for incomplete, we're all back level.
Well, it would suggest that it's a very level game, and there's another stat that suggests it is as well, and that's the score, isn't it? So there's
it's the one that counts.
Indeed, yeah. So both sides are. We spoke about in the first half the arm wrestle and that period of the game where both sides are, neither side's really in the ascendancy, and I'd say we're just in that moment now, and France are just feeling the way back into the game, and you feel as if France can hold on to the ball and just keep completing those sets, that they can quite easily get down the field. They seem to make yardage with ease.
Shouts of forward from the Papua New Guinea fans in the crowd here.
Hold! Release! Play on, play on!
Pellissier trying to get the ball. He does. He runs straight into who else? Mark Mexico.
5 and last, back here, short
Only
time.
his second game is Mexico for Papua New Guinea.
Go.
Now with Bartho. Was that a drop goal attempt?
He's kicked it.
There it is. France lead by 9 points to 8. 35-metre drop goal from William Bartho, the Catalan halfback, playing internationally on his 8th appearance. And they're ahead.
Yeah, great piece of skill, really. It's something we probably neglect in the game of rugby league, don't we? The drop goal, especially from sort of 40, 45 yards out, but a great kick from Bartho, puts his side ahead, and you know, that just nudges the ball, you know, well and truly, you know, back into the Papua New Guineans' court. They've got to come up with something now to win this game. A really inspired piece of halfback play, that, and with sort of 16 minutes left in the game, you know, that could be a crucial moment.
So 15 minutes just over to play. And the French now, they're going to feel that wind behind them, not just physically as well.
You just felt as though they were coming back, didn't you? Just feel as though they're just edging their way back into this game in terms of field position, in terms of that powerful running that we saw a bit in the first half, and then that's got to be worrying for Adrian Lam and his Papua New Guinea side.
That's 3 now.
Rooney Casti taken down on his own 40.
That's 4 with me.
A good tackle.
8.
No, not many metres made up in that play for France.
Last one.
Into the Commonwealth territory now.
Go.
Here's Bartho. I'm going to do another drop goal. No, of course he's not. Lovely take though by David Mead. Right underneath it. You felt that as well, didn't you?
That's one.
Right in the bread basket.
16.
So I think poor kick selection from Bartho, and that area of the field to put up a midfield bomb that sort of lands 30 metres out from the opponent's line. I think what was needed is to put the ball in the corner again and really put pressure on Papua New Guinea. But they get the ball in quite okay field position and just ease the way into the French half rather than really having to fight their way into the French half.
And the drive from Jason Chan. Born in Sydney, playing for Huddersfield.
Last one, up with a pull. Go.
Kick over the top. Picked up by Frederic Macari. Another of the Catalans men.
Go.
There's some tight guys in the French team just looking laboured as to get behind the ball. There's only really the sort of the backs that are behind the ball here. A lot of the forwards are rambling back. Look at Pelissier, the 9 in back play that we can't see. He looks particularly tired, and probably comes from all that extended period of defending what was again in the start of the half. You never know what impact that'll have on the team's energy, and French guys really look like they're struggling now.
That's 4. Hold the outside. Wait.
Couple of tackles remaining for the French then. It's a little forward as it came to this left-hand side. Here's Vakari again.
Last one.
Looking to get him in touch, but comfortably inside that touchline. Deport offers it back to Barthol, who kicks through, runs dead. And 20-minute use start.
He's had a real mixed bag with his kicking game as Barthol. Some the drop goals, some inspired bits of kicking, and then some disappointing results as well. But one thing you can say is kicking the ball dead in that situation, it allows you to get your defensive line set. The French, pretty much know what's going to come at them from Papua New Guinea from a set start. So it allows you to have a really dominant defensive set, and you'd expect France to get numbers in the tackle here, control the ruck as they have here, and as they put McDonald on his back. These are the kinds of things as a coach that you're looking for. You're looking to dominate rucks, to win rucks, to make the game slow and controlled, so that your defenders can make effective tackles. And despite that, and despite having some good ruck control, they're just rolling down the field nicely. And Ayton comes more into the game. The more that they roll down the field, Ayton comes into the game.
They need some points to show for it, the pressure that they've had in this second half, Papua New Guinea. A kick into this night sky here in Humberside.
Okay, off you now, get up with it.
Taken comfortably again by Clint Greenshields. Playing on the wing for the French international side.
Release! Harley, back here. Play the ball, go.
All physical out there, and again trying to shrug off the
3, up with it!
tacklers. Almost lost the ball.
Go.
Here's
4 now!
Barthol.
Hold it. Wait. Go.
France just with the 1 extra penalty.
Last one!
The game so far.
Mark it straight, bring it back, Paul!
11.5 minutes to play. A kick through.
Play on!
It's a nice take. Support from Mead as well.
Surrender! Here! Go.
Yeah, I'd say both sides just starting to tire here. The
2, 10,
outside backs, the wingers, the centres are coming in to carry the ball a lot. That's usually a sign that your middlemen are struggling. As we see, here, Mead carrying the ball, play 3, play 4. You'd usually expect your really big men to be touching the ball, and the fact that they're not shows, that potentially that fatigue is setting in a little bit.
Here goes Jesse Joe and Dye though. Step inside as well. Catch me if you can, charging through.
That's 4, up now! Hold it hard, come on!
Sendai set up the run.
Play on.
It's Abavu who
Last one!
ended it.
Olivia!
There's Ndaye again in possession. Ayton on the shorter side. Bounces around, his hands in there. Crawling and pouncing.
Just got there, didn't he?
Rolling away from him.
Scrambling to get on the ball. Yeah, no, I think Ndaye has been mentioned a lot in the commentary. He's had a real impact on the game since he's come off the bench. Real rangy back row with the ability to offload the ball. He's caused that French right-hand side defence some real problems.
Vakari, no way out.
Back here. Hold it hard, wait, Tate, go. Paul, come on, not too early.
The French with that 1-point lead then inside the final 10 minutes here at Craven Park. Game 3 of the Rugby League World Cup for 2013.
4 now, outside.
First game in Group B.
Head gear, 15.
No space for Mooney.
Last one.
Again, they're looking to put him into touch.
that's a result of finishing your last tackle on a sideline. When you get tackled so close to the sideline, it means it's very predictable where the player's going to come, where the kick's going to come from. It had to come from the centre of the field, and it allowed a lot of pressure to come.
Ase Boas down in field there. Also, one of the Papua New Guinea players down on this near side.
It's both the halfbacks, so it's Thompson and Boas down. So basically, the brains trust for the Papua New Guinean side are both down injured at the moment.
You see, this is the first one. This is Thompson. We're trying to bundle them into tucks there. And you see there Thompson just on the left, holding his leg. Maybe a bit of a dead leg there. Plenty bodies on top of him.
He seems to have recovered. He's walking it off. The physio seems relatively happy with that. So, you know, it's crucial that those two guys are on the field. It's only a 1-point deficit, but those two guys are going to be the key to unlocking the French defence and you know, getting points for the Papua New Guinean side.
Big men are back in action.
3 now off the ball. Hold it, hold. Go. That's 4. Here, number 1.
Eaton again at dummy half. Has a go himself. Looks for his options, tries to get the ball away just a second too late as Bartho picks it up.
Nothing now.
Couldn't escape though from
Marcus straight. Hold it, hold.
the yellow shirt of Richard Cambo.
Yeah, the Cummels are really focused on offloading the ball whenever they can. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Unfortunately, they're for it, and you know, didn't come up with a result. And, you know, this is what the French will be looking for: Scary to have more scampering runs, to get in some broken field, and you know, they really try and get the ball into some space, and then off the back of that, they'll be looking to kick the ball well. You know, if I was the French, if I was Richard Aguerd, I'd be getting the message on to kick the ball early, put the ball in the corners, and you know, turn the Papua New Guinean side round and make sure if they're going to score any points, they've got to go 100 metres to do so, and that should be the focus for the French.
Bartho again with the kick through. Bit of a late hit on him as well. Looks all right. Mead has it though for Papua New Guinea. Players on that left-hand side as well. Doesn't need any of them, doesn't want any of them. Looking to get the ball away again though. Keeps hold this time. Now Jesse Joe and Mino miss Jesse Joe Parker.
Wait. Go.
Whitehaven, the championship.
That's 3 off the ball. In the middle. Go.
Eaton at dummy half.
4 now.
Cambo.
Here. Oh. Go. Oh, last one.
Deploys
back here,
a good tackle
Wait, go.
for the French team. It's a lofted ball this time. Boas takes it above his head, plants it into the sky. It's just 3 metres too far, too wide. Didn't go too far, so they haven't given up too much ground, but Boas won't be happy. Wasn't what he wanted.
4.
Yeah, just didn't quite get the kick under control. He's going for Abavu there to try and out-jump try and out-jump Clint Greenshields, but Clint Greenshields has been a world standard fullback. He made a living from catching high balls. So
spends half of his time looking north to the sky, doesn't he?
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know if that's a bit of a flawed strategy there, but yeah, I think it's going to take a little piece of special play from Papua New Guinea to unlock this French defence, and you know, that's certainly what's required in this closing 6 minutes of the game. It's going to take one piece of skill.
There's Adrian Lam on the left and Mal Meninga on the right. The Papua New Guinea coaches. Coach and performance director, I think, official titles. Wondering how they can get themselves back into this lead. There's 1 point in it. 6 minutes just over to play. And we got a man down for Papua New Guinea.
Neville, just push out that way. Back here.
Never what you want to see is in the first game of a campaign.
His knee's heavily strapped. The worry is that there's a previous injury there and it's a repeat of that.
Jesse left foot. Jesse left foot.
So Papua New Guinea then forced into a change that they may not have wanted to make, but that's why you've got the interchange, that's why you've got the men. Now they're going to have to get the ball back in hand, and I think the worst thing with Papua New Guinea at the moment is they've had a lot of possession, haven't they? They scored that early try in the second half, but haven't been able to puncture that France defence. All the pressure they've had, they battered them on their own line for 3.5 sets and still couldn't get through.
I don't think the French will be particularly happy with how they've attacked when they've had the ball. I don't think they've been great, but what they've done is defended the line, you know, very well. They've showed a real commitment to each other in the defence and their attitude towards defending. And as a result, Papua New Guinea have become frustrated and struggled to break them down, despite a weight of possession that they've had. The possession has really evened up towards the back end of this second half, but still, you know, you've got to credit the French with some great defence.
Bartho did get the kick away there just, and PNG can't get out of their in-goal area. David Mead running their ball out and up to the 10. He's had a couple of good runs, hasn't he, when picking the ball up?
He's really quick, really lightning quick. As David Mead obviously plies his trade in the NRL, and his talents have been, highlighted for a long time now, but showing that class and speed and real intensity when he carries the ball.
This is his third appearance for Papua New Guinea, David Mead. He's scored 5 tries in the previous 2. On to his name today. He'd love to finish one with... Last one! He'd love to finish with one now. Into the final 5 minutes. Still that single point in it.
Okay.
The ball gets away. Oh, and that was a high shot. Wasn't intentional, I don't think, from Paul Ayton. Chasing the ball down. It was Escare who took the ball, but I think he just settled down onto his haunches a little bit as he took the ball. Ayton thought he was there to tackle, but he was a bit low. Was he rushing in?
You could see there was...
Here is Escare.
I've got a feeling this is a bad one.
Just taking that ball.
Yeah, he's certainly hooked him round. He's hooked him round the neck, hasn't he? And Ayton, immediately apologetic for it. He knew that he'd caught him. He knew that it was a bad one. It doesn't look great, does it? I think it's more that Escare's looking at the ball. You know, he's catching the ball as he's hit him, and as a result, he's off balance. Ayton's certainly caught him high, and could be in a spot of bother here. I'd say that the referee has got a few options. One is he deems it bad enough to send him off. There's certainly a penalty coming the Papua New Guineans' way. Is it kickable? Sorry, the French team's way. I apologise. There's a few different courses of action, on report, so it's going to go to the disciplinary panel, and Ayton could face further punishment following that.
And Ayton has been key and crucial in spells, hasn't he, for Papua New Guinea? I'll have a look at that, the disciplinary then.
Here, white 12.
But the French now back with ball in hand.
Wait for
the clock slowly ticking towards that 80 minutes.
Go.
Ragoin.
That's 1. 14. Here, 14.
Papua New Guinea getting to the point in the game where they're going to need the ball. Need to get the ball back somehow.
Here, coming outside. Here, get up. Go 2.
Pelissier from dummy half scampers away.
Lead the legs, lead the legs.
Just opened up a bit there, didn't it? Bartho looking all right now, isn't he?
Stand now. Make the line, make the line. 4, go.
Floated along, there was a man over. It looked like it was intended for Greenshields, but the hand was in there, and Greenshields should have thought we had a clear run down that right-hand side.
Again, another piece of evidence that the long speculative passes are not on tonight at all. And Papua New Guinea nearly came up with an interception breakaway try as a result of that from Thomas Bosk. But, like I mentioned, basically Papua New Guinea really needs something special, and one of those guys that could come up with that is Boas. Certainly the halfbacks for Papua New Guinea are crucial.
Here's Cambo, as Papua New Guinea really need to do something with this set. Looking down that left-hand side again as Jesse Joandai charges down inside that French half now. The offload's away. Too fortuitous that time in terms of meters made.
Here. Go.
The kick. It goes high, doesn't go too far. Barthow's underneath it, loses the ball, does he? A penalty to Papua New Guinea.
This is
20 metres out, and let's just mention, man of the match. We just see, goes up for it, does Barthow, spills the ball on landing.
As soon as he spills the ball, he's offside. So yeah.
Well, let's just mention as well, before we take this kick, that the man there punching the ground is the man of the match, voted for by the written press in this Craven Park Stadium. William Barthow, who at the moment kicked the drop goal that put France 9-8 ahead. Just over 2 minutes to play then. And what a kick this would be.
There's some pressure on this.
What a kick.
It's just, you know, this is, it's been such an enthralling game. It's been, you know, had so much to it. Papua New Guinea have tried so hard to you know, get points on the board.
Papua New Guinea with their 2 tries. Both conversions have been missed. They haven't had a successful kick so far. And of course, we thought they were maybe going to run it. It's just been indicated to the crowd that he's going to kick it.
Yeah, the kick was always on. And there's a lot of pressure on this, as you mentioned. Two missed goals. There's, you know, Mead won't be hugely confident with his kicking. There's a
big wind into the wind.
There's the rain. There's a lot of ready-made excuses here for him to miss this one.
There's a lot of things running through David Mead's mind at the moment. Head over the ball. He needs a clear head. And if he puts this through, the pressure is on France.
You'd expect him to kick this.
David Mead for Papua New Guinea. They trail by a point. But he's pulled it across the front of the sticks from 25 metres out. 3 conversions, 3 shots at goal, all missed. And there is the opportunity for Papua New Guinea. The pressure just too much. Mead standing over the ball. It was straightforward, it looked straightforward, but just to the left of the sticks. How much was the wind? How much was the pressure? You got to say now, France are going to win this game.
Oh, pressure, that is pure, the influence of pressure upon a player. You know, 20, 22, 23 metres out, dead in front, and it's just a given that players will kick that at this level. International Rugby League in the World Cup, that should have been kicked, and Adrian Lam certainly looked very disappointed, didn't he? And there's a minute left here, though. You know, Papua New Guinea have got the ball, and that's a positive. You know, there's certainly an opportunity for Papua New Guinea still.
This is going to be potentially Papua New Guinea's final play of the game then. They got 3 plays to get some points. Here's Menzayeri fighting his way. Plenty blue shirts around him, targeting the ball, trying to force the error. Into the final 30 seconds. 2 more chances. The ball's gone to ground, it's sloppy, it's knocked on. Were they trying to set up a 1-pointer there? Bit too far away at the moment. Now they've not got the ball in hand. The clock will tick down. France will just want to keep hold of this, stick it up the jumper. Vakari on halfway. And here we go, the final seconds of this game. And the French have weathered the Samoan storm. They've won this game by a single point. A missed penalty attempt from Papua New Guinea in the final 2 minutes of the game. But Barthow and his drop goal for the French has won their opening game. And how much, and you just hope that Papua New Guinea don't look back on this game and think that was the key, that was the reason that our Rugby League World Cup for 2013 didn't go as far as we wanted to.
It's going to be very difficult for them to get out of Group B now, you'd say, into the further stages of the competition. It's not over for them. They've got, you know, opportunities to play some of the bigger sides and beat them, but very difficult for them to get through now.
So full time here in Game 3 of the Rugby League World Cup for 2013. France with a single-point victory. They win. They beat Papua New Guinea by 9 points to 8. Tremendous entertainment, what a finish. And we mentioned Papua New Guinea, all they needed was an opportunity, some way of scoring some points. They got it, and David Mead into the wind, a difficult kick even though it was 25 metres out. You'd have thought that it'd have kicked it. But Bartho with the French, there he is, Mead, ruined that opportunity. I wonder how well he'll sleep tonight.
Yeah, I feel really sorry for the kid. You know, he's obviously, his confidence was rattled after his first 2 conversion misses, and you know, with the wind and the rain and the pressure and you know how difficult and how important this game was and how difficult it was going to be to get out of the group should you lose. You know, all of these things combined, you know, led to me, you know, missing the goal, and you know, that was the game right there. You know, every game you're playing as a professional rugby league player is hinged on moments, and it can change. You know, flip full circle from you can be losing to winning in such a short space of time, and the game was right there for me to take it and win the game for Papua New Guinea, and unfortunately he couldn't. But you've got to say Papua New Guinea, you know, came and entertained us. I think they were fantastic. They offloaded the ball, passed the ball, and France defended very well to keep them, you know, to keep Papua New Guinea just 8 points. It was a great effort from their defence, and credit to France because they've won the game, and Bartho's, you know, long distance drop goals has won them again.
The French high fives with all the crowds of Papua New Guinea players have been taking the adulation of the Papua New Guinea fans here at Craven Park as well.